everybody, welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I am a day late, but that's because I wanted to shoot this here in Iceland, where I just went to Midgard, a fantastic, terrific, wonderful convention. So we're glad you're here. This is a show all about board games with a lot of people talking about board games, and we'll talk about the news. In fact, let's get started with the board game news. But before we do that, the Q&A this week, I normally do a Q&A every week. I'm going to do one, I'm just not sure. It might not be till Friday, so come back then. All right, let's get to the news. Okay, so first of all, we're starting to get Essen news that's starting to be announced now. We have the Quest for El Dorado expansion, Hexes and Heroes. So just more maps. This was one of the nominees for the Spiel des Jahres. So then more of that's going to be good. Trans Europa, I've already talked a little bit about this. This is coming from Ravensburger. It's going to have Trans Europa and Trans America inside it, and along with some extra pieces and things to do with that. AEG has announced Scorpius Freighter. Scorpius Freighter, this is going to be at Essen. This is a hand management rondel game. I really like the artwork for this one. The designers have put out some other good games, so this is one to be excited about. Rolling Ranch. It's another roll move game. Yay, because we don't have enough of those right now. From Thundergriff. I'm sure it's fine. It's about how to pen your livestock. Get it? Pen your... Okay. The 2018 Toy Hall of Fame nominees have been announced, which is once again ridiculous. There's some board games, Uno, Chutes and Ladders, and Tudor's Electronic Football, which I don't think has a chance, but also Chalk was nominated, and so was Tic-Tac-Toe. This is the dumbest award there is. All right, Camel Up. So now the name of Camel Up is definitely Camel Up. The new box cover, you can tell, it's very obvious. We won't have those arguments anymore. This is coming from Eggertspiel. This is a brand new version of this one from Plan B Games. This has rogue camels. These camels will be going the other direction. So as your camels come on, they can get on knees and they can push them backwards. Looks really, really fun. We should have a review of this one coming up soon. I think we're getting it soon. Shards of Infinity, Relics of the Future, first expansion for that. I already said I really like this game a lot, and so the first expansion for that is going to really push this one along. The Potion, this is a small little game from Foxmind. I really like how this one looks. It just has a nice look to it. And Feast for Odin, the Norwegians. More tiles, more islands, more double-sided, weird tiles that you're going to stick in there, all different weird shapes. I really like Feast for Odin, and I'm really excited about this expansion. So these are the different things that are happening. We're probably going to find out a lot more news as time goes by, but for now, let's keep moving.
Happy breakfast, everybody! From animal merchants to tiny breweries, we have quite the range of projects to look at in today's crowdfunding roundup. The Dale of Merchants collection expands the Dale of Merchants game from the previous two sets and provides a box that holds it all. Dale of Merchants is a deck building and hand management game in which you're essentially racing to be the first to fully build out your market stand by playing a series of cards valued 1 through 8. The game's quirk really comes in with the huge variety of gameplay offered because the game deck is actually comprised of different animal folk sets, each of which has a different strategic bent, and they can all be mixed and matched freely. The Dale of Merchants collection offers 8 brand new animal folk factions, and it also includes new character cards that provide unique player abilities. On top of that, there are new trap cards that can be added in that hit opponents with unpleasant consequences. The collection game box is designed to hold all the previous game content as well, and if you already own Dale of Merchants, check out the campaign for the update pack that has tweaked a few cards that's being offered for free. Dale of Merchants Collection is a standalone version of the game for €39 plus shipping, or you can get all the Dale of Merchants content for €79 plus shipping. Galactic Contract is truly a family affair, being designed and published by brothers Hank and Jake as Red Haiku. A game of resource management, in Galactic Contract, you'll be traveling between planets, gathering resource cards, upgrading your ship, and then working to complete trades and shipments. Make trades at planets to gather the resources you need and try to take advantage of freight depots for maximum efficiency. Or you can fulfill shipments by delivering the correct resources at the Galactic Center. With the games already printed, Red Haiku has a cute video explaining how their funds are being used to pay back their other two brothers who helped fund the print run. Galactic Contract has a cool aesthetic, and you can get a copy for a pledge of $20 plus shipping, which includes a vote on which brother gets reimbursed first. Microbrew is a 2-player worker placement game with a strong puzzly aspect to it. In Microbrew, traditional worker placement is twisted a bit, as players can take the action that an opponent's meeple is on, but then that opponent gets their worker back to use again in that round. You're using these actions to brew beer recipes with your malt tokens, but each malt token behaves a bit differently, so you'll really have to plan placement carefully in your hopper. And even after you mix your beer, you have to let it ferment, meaning it takes a little bit of time to be ready, and its value is impacted by how accurately you filled out that recipe. And then you want to serve just the right beer to your customers to gain their loyalty, which is actually how you end up winning the game. Microbrew is a rich game experience for a very tiny package, and you can get a copy for a pledge of £15 plus shipping. Into the Black Forest is the next offering from Green Couch Games. Featuring charming art by Daryl Jones, this Jason Slingerland game has players placing cards around an encounter card. Each side of the encounter card scores differently. On the bottom, the low card beats the high card. To the left, the card scores its value if it matches a top suit. On that top side, the high card beats the low card, and to the right, cards are placed face down to try and meet that card's win condition. Into the Black continues Green Couch Games' drive to produce great games in little packages. A copy of Into the Black Forest takes a pledge of just $19 plus shipping. And last but not least, Gamelin Games is kickstarting the next in the Tiny Epic series, Tiny Epic Mechs. This is a programming battle game in which players are mech pilots in a battle royale, all packed into a compact box. Played over 6 rounds, you'll be using your actions to move around the arena, deploying turrets, planting mines, collecting resources, and gathering weapons. As your actions run, when you encounter an opponent, you go into battle until you run out of ammo, retreat, or are defeated. The more weapons you have, the better, because each one only fires once per battle, and you also get points for how many weapons you own at the end of the game, along with a variety of other kind of area control scoring opportunities throughout the game. And of course, Tiny Epic Mechs features Gamelin's item meeples, taking them to a whole new level with the mech suit. A number of stretch goals have already been unlocked, upgrading components and adding a solo gameplay mode too. A basic copy of Tiny Epic Mechs takes a pledge of just $20 plus shipping. Okay, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
I want to talk about a classic game called Ogre. But not this ogre. Not even this ogre. But this ogre. The 6th edition. This game is about a giant robot tank called an ogre. It's massive, and it takes place in the future. The ogre is not a happy tank, and it wants to kill you and take over your world. This is a great beginner game. It teaches you line of sight, it teaches you movement, and also ramming, because when you're that big, well, you can just squish everybody. In this 6th edition, you have 2 Mark III ogres and 1 Mark V ogre, and they come as miniatures. So ogre, super simple. You have a map. You have an ogre on one end, and you have your command post on one end. The ogre is making its way across the map while you, with infantry and or tanks, try to destroy the ogre before he gets to your command post and blows it up, and you die. In the 6th edition, you have 7 scenarios. One scenario is actually called Duel, where you pit one ogre against the other ogre. Everybody's happy. I mean, who doesn't want to be an ogre? So each ogre has a stat sheet. As you can see, top left, you see 4 secondary battery. Attack 3, range 2, defense 3. Combat is very simple. You attack with a certain attack number. It defends with a certain defense number. If you beat it, you cross out one of the squares. That's it. The units fighting against the ogre are infantry, tanks, and howitzers. GEV units, which are basically mosquitoes. They come in, hit, and run. This classic war game is a 2-player game, solos fantastically, and a lot of war gamers have cut their teeth on this game. Trust me. Ogre 6th edition, designed by Steve Jackson, published by Steve Jackson Games. You can check out online support on ogre.stevejacksongames.com for variant scenarios and a lot of online support. Thanks for watching, and if you want to know more about Wargames, please check out my channel, No Enemies Here, Wargaming News.
All right, so what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? Lots of reviews. Like I said, my Q&A will probably be posted on Friday. But we are doing other live things. Dice Tower tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you've never seen this, me, Eric, and Crystal do a live show, game shows. We talk about games. It's a lot of fun. Come on out. If you can't make it, then of course you can watch it at another time. We're also lots of reviews going up this week. The MacGyver Escape Room game. I'm taking a look at Cerebria, the big game from the folks from Anachrony, the Choose Your Own Adventure graphic novels. So a lot of different reviews. I'm also taking a look at my top 10 cousins of games. These are like lawn games or pool hall games. Kind of like if you like board games, you might like these also. I thought that would be fun to do. And of course, other things. Our podcast, Mandy and Suzanne, recorded that live at GrandCon. So if you were at GrandCon, first of all, thanks for saying hi. But we'll have to wait and see what that one's like. And you can check out all the rest of our podcasts at DicetowerNetwork.com.
Hello guys, I'm Cardboard Rhino and welcome to one more Rhino Says Yes. Today I brought you a really colorful game with a unique theme and loads of meeples. It's Meeple Circus. Meeple Circus is a dexterity game for 2 to 5 players. You are working in an actual circus and your goal is to entertain the audience and get the most claps out of your incredible acts. There are 3 rounds. Each round begins with each player drafting a set of 2 different tiles that gives them new components to their disposal. The game starts with the first rehearsal where all the players compete at the same time. You use the companion music app for the game, press play, and you have until the music stops to try to build the best act using your components. The components, in order to count for your act, need to be strictly inside the ring, be placed on their side, and all components on the ground must carry at least one other component. It's important when you finish to say "ta-da!" and you get a speed bonus for finishing first or second. When the music stops, you do the scoring. 1 point for the blue acrobats touching the ground, 1 for the yellow ones that don't, and height points for the red ones. And there's the points from the public demand cards from specific compositions. The second round, the second rehearsal, plays the same way, but you have some guest stars introduced who can win you some extra claps from the audience. And in the last round, the performance, each player performs separately and tries to wow the crowds while managing to complete some absurd and ridiculous challenges. After the end of that, whoever has the most points wins. It might sound a bit silly as a game, and it is, but that's what I actually love about it. It gives you the chance to see even the most serious people turn into fun-loving kids again. It's a really good option to bring to the table as a light filler game, as it appeals to non-gamers and to experienced gamers alike. It's actually quite challenging to manage to stack all these components in the ways suggested, and it can be very frustrating as well, but it's definitely loads of fun. So Rhino says yes to Meeple Circus. You should totally give it a try.
Greetings and welcome to the Mega Meeple. I'm Thomas Grogan, and I hope all my coastal friends in the Carolinas are safe and hanging in there. But just thought it'd be a good topic for this week. Is there a particular weather that lends itself to specific games? Now, personally, if it's nice out, especially in the autumn and stuff where the leaves are changing color, I don't want to spend the time, sitting at a game table. I want to be outside and enjoying the weather. But stuff like this, I like to just stay home and play games. Now, for example, in the middle of winter, when there's like 6+ inches or so of snow and ice and you can't go anywhere, that kind of weather kind of lends itself to playing dead of winter. Or especially at night when it's thunder and lightning and raining and everything, pretty much just pull out the candles. Pretty much any Arkham Horror or Cthulhu or Lovecraftian game lends itself for that type of weather to play, just to add to the atmosphere and nuance. So, what about you? What kind of games do you like to play in certain inclement weather? And sound off in the comments down below. Give us your suggestions. And I'll talk to you guys next time.
Everyone, my name's Annette, and you may know me as Netter's Plays. And today on Applied Mechanics, I'm going to go over the game of Piedmonts. So this is a card game where it's all about the pecking order of the bird feeder. It's a tableau builder, and you're scoring majorities. So let me show you a little bit about this game and why I really like it. In Piedmonts, you only have 3 things to do on your turn. Out of the 4 cards in hand, you'll be able to play one of your cards. There are 2 perches where you can play your 1 card. When you play this bird onto the floor, you'll add up the total value of all the birds on the floor. If that value is greater than the value of the bird on the perch, then a few things will happen. Depending on the difference, you'll pick up one of the seed cards from the dispenser. You'll also take the card that was in front of the perch and you'll add it in front of you. The highest value bird will then go up to the perch. You check and see if you have a higher value, and you do the same thing with the seeds. Then finally, you'll draw back up to a hand of 4. You'll also refill the seeds. However, beware, because sometimes you'll also come across the crow or the squirrel. When a player plays a card and the value is lower than the bird on the perch, then they don't take any seeds. However, they can play a card lower than the one that they just played and place that bird in front of them. Some birds that you collect will come in pairs. You'll get bonus points for those. At the end of the game, you'll be scoring majorities depending on who has the most birds of a certain type. Once you've compared, you add up the number of eggs that you have on each card, along with the eggs on the seeds and the bonus pair points. Whoever has the most points wins. So as you can see, you're doing a lot on your turn, but you're only playing 1 card. You're comparing the bird or the card that you just played on the ground with the card that's in front of the feeder. You're checking differences in values, and you're gaining seeds. Not only that, but you're also gaining birds or a tableau in front of you. You're checking majorities in comparison to other players, so you always have to be aware of what type of birds you're gaining. There's a lot of things to compare, and there's a lot of things that are going on in this game. And that's why I really like Piedmonts. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi, Mike Delisio from Solo Mode Games, and if you'll indulge me, I'd like to talk about something that's not strictly related to solo gaming. I'd like to talk about nostalgia. It seems to me that lately we've had a number of games that are based off of nostalgic themes, and I guess one of the things I'd like some feedback on is this just me? Are we getting more games that are based on nostalgia, or is this something that's always been part of the board gaming hobby in such a large number? I'm thinking of games like Villainous, or Monster Crunch, or the Choose Your Own Adventure game, or perhaps even Big Trouble in Little China, just to name a few recent games that have a nostalgic theme. Games that are based off of intellectual properties either from maybe our childhood or even before our childhood, but that are still part of the popular culture. I guess what I'm wondering is, do these games come on a little bit of an unlevel playing field? Do we already have a predisposition to want to like these games because they're based off of a theme that we hold dear to our hearts? Or maybe is there an opposite effect where the expectations are perhaps lower because they're based off an intellectual property, and maybe we don't expect those games to be very good. So when you get a game like Villainous, for example, which is being pretty highly regarded, that maybe we're like, well, I didn't expect this game to be very good. It's a Disney game. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Is nostalgia something that is a new and burgeoning part of the board gaming hobby? Or is it something that's been here all along and maybe I'm just noticing it more? If you can let me know in your comments below, I'd be really interested to hear what you have to think about this. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Happy breakfast, everybody, and today I'm going to talk to you about Hanamakoji. This is a 2-player card game, but don't confuse it with like a trick-taking game, though you are going to be trying to collect the most of each set of the cards. So there's 7 geishas, and they've all got different numbers. Well, they've not all. They sort of range from 2, which is sort of the most common, 3, that sort of area. Then there's a couple of 4s and 1 5. Those are important because those numbers are not only points that they're worth, but they're also the number of cards of the items in the deck of cards that you're going to be playing with. And it's all about which geishas you've got more items of. If you've got more than your opponent, the favour token comes to your side of the geisha. If it's a draw, it stays where it is. Now that's important because while only sort of 50% of the games I think go to a second round, a lot of them do end in the first round of you've either got sort of the favour of 4 geishas or 11 points. But if that's not the case, then a second round happens and the favour tokens stay where they are. It's just the cards are reshuffled, dealt out, and play continues. Theme-wise though, this could be anything. You know, it's geishas and the items that they want. But it could be animals and food that they want. So that does let it down a bit, but that's not to say that the theme isn't really nice. It just doesn't add anything to the game other than being pretty. Even saying that, this is actually right now my favourite 2-player game. Taking the place of Jaipur, it's just so simple, yet it gives you a lot to think about in the space of like 10 minutes. Anyway, that's Hanamakoji, amazing title, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.
So this week I was at the convention, obviously, and I was thinking about my favorite games because we are currently putting together our top 100 games of all time, which you will see at some point. And so when I go to the library and pick out a game, I pick out what game to play. So there's those games that give you that amazing experience. So we're talking about big, grandiose games. But you don't always grab those games because they might take a while to set up, they might take a while to tear down, you're just not in the mood maybe to play a 3-hour game. And so you might end up playing another game more quickly. So does that mean that those other games are your favorites? This is just something I've been thinking about. You know, those big grandiose experiences are fantastic. And they're the kind of experiences that I'll talk about for days and weeks afterwards. But they're not necessarily the games that I'm going to grab for my bread and butter. You know, when I'm sitting around and I'll say, hey, I'll play Pandemic, or I'll play, you know, this shorter, quicker game. And people will say, as you're getting older, you're playing more and more of these shorter games. And I tend to do that. And I wonder, does that make those games actually your favorite if you're more willing to play those than the big grandiose games? There's an experiential factor to playing a game. If I play Twilight Imperium, it's going to take all day. But it's probably a day I'll talk about for the next few years because it's something that I remember. If I play a short game of Catan or a short game of Space Base or something that's quicker, I won't talk about that probably 2 weeks later, but I might 2 weeks later play that same game again. And so as I put together my top 100, I have to take all these factors into account. If I have all the games on the shelf, what's the first one I'm going to grab? It's not always going to be my favorite game because I don't want to play my favorite game all the time. And I don't think most people do. If you do, you're kind of a lifestyle gamer. That's pretty much your only game. But a game that I'm willing to grab more often than not should make my top 100, even if, let's say, again, we'll take Twilight Imperium. If I play that game once every 3 or 4 years, and it's a fantastic experience, but I play a game like Space Base 30 times in that same time frame, I wonder if the shorter game should get some comparison to being higher on my favorite games list. I know people have different opinions. Some people go by what's the biggest, best experience. That should be the one that's higher on the list. And other people say the one that you want to play more often should be higher on the list. I think it's a mix somewhere between the two, and that's what I've done when I put my top 100 list together. Anyway, that's what I was just thinking about today.
Hey everybody, it's Christina from Girls Game Shelf. I've been organizing my shelves. They're not completely done, but I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about it because I always read about people who are like, how do I organize my shelves the best way? And when do you start culling your collection? But I never quite hear about what the benefits are. So here are the benefits that I have found since organizing my shelves. First benefit, it's just you're so much more likely to play games. I liken it to, a lady's closet. Whenever my closet is full and I haven't taken out the things that I don't like, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I have nothing to wear. But as soon as you take out all the junk that you don't want, suddenly clothing options are available in spades. I walk into our game room and I'm like, yes, I want to play every game on that shelf. And that just feels nice, okay? That leads me to the next benefit, which is rediscovering games that you forgot you loved. I forgot that I loved Biblios. Where has it been? Oh, it's been down there, covered by games that are larger than it that have nothing in common with it. So of course I forgot about it. The third benefit, and maybe my most favorite benefit, is that you get to whittle down your shelf of shame. And with that shelf of shame, it's important to ask yourself, are these games that you want to play but just haven't had the time? Or are they games that you don't really want to play? I used the Cone Marie method for this from that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I think that's the title. You hold the game close and ask yourself, does this spark joy? And if the answer is no, then get it out of your life. Finally, the last benefit that I discovered was that it was more inviting for newcomers to sit down and play a game with me when my shelves just looked better and were more organized. On Girls Game Shelf, we often have ladies that are kind of newer to the hobby, and it was really invaluable to kind of walk them through the shelves with a little more ease, but also that it didn't feel like we were playing in a dark and stingy basement. It's fine playing in a basement, but nobody wants to feel like they're playing in one. That wraps it up for me. Go forth and organize your game shelves. Spark joy. See you next time.
Two brothers set loose in a thrift store. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks. So I recently came across some hot information. It's top secret. You ready to hear?
No, Jimbo, I don't think you can make up your own spirit animal name. No, it doesn't matter if you're 164th Cherokee. You're mostly white.
Can you please hang up the phone? I got some really important top secret information.
All right, Jimbo, I gotta go. I'll be done in like 5 minutes, all right. What's up, dude?
This information is of a top secret nature no one can know. What are you doing?
I got this sweet new voice modifier.
We can't have any record of this conversation. We're supposed to blend in. We're spies.
We live in Southern California and it's September. Who do you think is blending in more, me or you? Nice leather dust, by the way.
Good point. What are you doing now?
I'm live tweeting this whole conversation.
Put the phone away, okay? Because we are going to kill the ambassador.
We're killing the ambassador? All right, this is top secret, and you're gonna sign these briefcases randomly. In these different briefcases are different state secrets and information that your opponents are trying to get. You're going to assign different state secrets. They have a certain amount of information. This one has 1, this one has 3, but there could be a bomb in one of them. You grab a briefcase, you take this, you put it in the little slot thingy like that. If you have a bomb, 3 of your people go away, and you're left with only 3. The first person to get to 10 state secrets wins. So that was top secret.
Yeah, spies and things.
First thing I want to say thank you to the person who sent us this all the way from Belgium.
Dude, across
Very
the
cool.
seas this travel.
This came across the pond for us to play a review from you. And here's the thing, compared to most thrift store games we play, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't terrible, so like I feel less bad about the postage that it costs to get
And just the thing that they can carry the little briefcases, hashtag worth it.
Ultimately, this game is like fine. You're just trying to move around and grab treasure, for lack of a better word, and I guess you can have showdowns, which there's some strategy to because you lose the card forever.
Yeah, there's like that deception and stuff like that, you know? I mean, it's fine. It's not great, but it wasn't horrible.
So what's not so top secret, we do live streams on Twitch.
Good
and you
segue.
should join us for that because it's really fun and you can offer live feedback. You can tell us how great we are. You can tell us how bad at games we are because both those things are true.
You can see us cry live.
Yes, and it's
Always hilarious.
Always great.
And check out our YouTube channel as well if you like what we do here. We do it all the time over there. Until next time, we'll see you
Deep undercover, behind enemy lines, somewhere like Bogota.
carrying briefcases like this.
I'm Warren. This is
Go away,
It's a game by game one, and it's free up. My favorite thing is the monster.
Go away, monster!
Go away, monster! Shut off on the back.
Yeah.
Here, I got my bed.
Okay, here we go.
But you don't want monster. Take that dog painting. Go away, monster!
Whoa!
Why am I through this game? Can we play again, Daddy?
Sure, buddy.
Welcome to The Pitch. That was a fun birthday.
It was an amazing birthday.
I really enjoyed myself. So, what are you doing? Are you selling Hyperborea for €1?
Well, it's an auction, so I hope that the price will go up. But I'm just putting in the first batch of games for the Essen No Shipping auction. Yes.
So, all of these games are going to sell in Essen.
Yes, well, hopefully. Yeah.
You're going to stand outside the trading hall, and then people are going to come and hopefully recognize you. Oh, you're wearing your clown head again.
Yes, it's a huge thing. People try to find each other and holding
fun.
up signs in their Board Game Geek signs. Yeah,
it's really fun. Unless it rains, then it's. But it never rains. We've never had rain.
It never rains in Germany.
I wish. So about Hyperborea, didn't you do a song about it?
Oh yes, I did.
Lopsided, top heavy, unequal and uneven.
Yes, I did do a song on that one. You'll find that song over on youtube.com/thehappyluza.
You're very good at this, baby. Really like that. Are you going to do a vlog? Is that how you pronounce it?
The video log.
Video log again?
I will not do that, but instead I will go live every day, every night, the day after Essen.
From our house?
Or even start that before that. From our house, or maybe from the Dice and Mystics venue where we will be playing games on Saturday night as well.
So what can people see there?
Well, in my vlog, I'll talk about Essen. I'll hopefully have a way of showing some pictures and some video that I recorded. And they can ask me questions, things they want to check out and want to see, and I'll try and talk about it and show some stuff.
See Essen through your eyes.
Yes, exactly.
And
and through your eyes as well, because you'll be on it, I hope.
Oh, apparently also through my eyes.
Yeah.
So who knows what I'm going to see. So where can people check that out?
Well, on my YouTube channel, The Happy Luza.
So we're going to meet there, and we're going to try and contain ourselves because Essen is still more than a month away.
It is.
But we're going to see you there.
Yeah. Hopefully. Essen is coming up.
Bye.
Hello, my name's Dan, and this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about board games for, young children. I'm going to say children of 5 and under. that boat's long sailed.
That doesn't make sense.
No. So, today we're going to talk to you about this game. What is it, Cora?
Jungle.
Jungle. Jungle is actually a collection of 5 mini-games that all use a rock, paper, scissors mechanic, using 7 animals of descending size, which each scare off the animals below it. The minigame we're playing here is a speed game where the players flip over cards and then race to claim the animals that haven't been beaten by any of the other cards on the table. Like all speed games, adults have to kind of hobble themselves a little bit when playing against young kids, otherwise the kids have got no hope of competing. But that's not really a massive issue. So Cora, what do you think about Jungle?
Well, there's lots of different games in it, but the game we played, I kind of like it because, well, you have to go like that, and what I have to do is I have to have 2 piles.
Yeah, because you can't.
Actually, I mean, 3 piles with my point pile.
Yeah.
The 2 piles.
And 2 piles, yeah. There are, as Cora says, there are 5 games in this, but most of them need 3 players, and we can't get 3 players, can we?
No.
Because your brother and sister don't really want to be on
I mean,
camera.
my brother sometimes does it, but he doesn't often do it.
No, that's true. So, but the game we did play was really good, and I like the kind of rock, paper, scissors type. It's a bit like rock, paper, scissors, isn't it? Where one beats another, beats another, beats another. I like that mechanic.
So, like, snakes scare mice, and mice scare elephants for some reason.
Yeah, who knows?
For some reason, rhinos scare lion.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be poked on the bum with that horn. So, we really like Jungle. We haven't played the other variants yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Probably off camera, where the other two will be more willing to play with us.
Yeah.
And we give it 2 mice scaring elephants thumbs up. Squeak, 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 squeak. Do your elephant noise. And do your pigeon noise. The same noise.
Well, I did it. It took hours of cutting and sticking and putting to sleep, so my copy of Frenzy is now good to play. A game that's never coming back into print. Let's just check Board Game Breakfast for the comments to see what people have to say, eh? Huh. I quit board games. Well, it is actually coming back into print. It was on Kickstarter as I was making the video about how I was translating my German copy into English, which is fun for me. You know, this happened to me before when games that are famously not coming back into print are reprinted, most notably Pillars of the Earth and Macau. You know, it goes to show that if a game really is that good, other than Glory to Rome, then eventually it will probably be reprinted. I'm going to call it Matthew's Law. That might actually already be a thing.
I think his favorite game is Small World, though. Really?
No, he loves it. He just keeps it at the front for public purposes, like PR stuff.
Yeah.
Boom! Research outpost.
You can't do that.
Why not?
It's because of Matthew's Law. Remember, Life is a Dark Nightmare.
I thought Matthew's Law was trust no one.
No, that's the X-Files.
Oh, that would check out for him though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He does love David Duchovny.
Super in love with him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm genuinely happy that Frenzy is coming back into print because it's such a good game and more people are going to be able to play it. So I can't really feel too bad about the whole situation. So that's all for me this breakfast. And you know what? Have a great week. You deserve it. Maybe. I don't know. Bye.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thanks so much for watching and coming along. We had a great time in Iceland. Again, I'm sorry that we're a day late, but we will be back tomorrow. So until next time, I'm Tom Bass. You've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower. See you then.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at CoolStuffInc.com.